If we're all being honest, the Cry Me a River line that Jack Perry uttered at All In 2023 made his career. People can be mad about it. People can complain online. You can say that he never should have uttered it. And to a degree, I agree with you. I think that the way that Jack Perry handled that entire situation with CM Punk probably should have been better. And I think that it was immature to an extent. But we cannot ignore the fact that ever since he did, we now have a reason to care about Jack Perry. If you look at the work that he was doing with Hook in the latter part of 2023, it just was not working. The promos were bad. The feud was bad. The matches were fine, but when you combine that with how bad the build-up to those stories were, nobody cared. And that is the worst thing that can happen to you as a professional wrestler. When the crowd doesn't care, when the crowd isn't into you, when you are faced with nothing but deafening silence time in, time out whenever you come out to the arena, that is death in professional wrestling. We can't have that, and talent can't have that especially. That's why now that Jack Perry is in a situation where regardless of where he comes out, he's going to get a reaction. That in itself means that at this point, he is a made guy in professional wrestling. And yes, should he have handled himself better at All In 2023? Absolutely. For all of the flack that we give CM Punk, the truth is that Jack Perry also handled things in an immature fashion. That being said, had he not done that, had he not said that line and began a series of events that would not only lead to the return of CM Punk to WWE, but probably the most notable thing that he's ever done in professional wrestling, had he not done that, I don't think that we hear the reaction that he got in St. Louis at AEW Dynasty. Without that moment, we don't get Jack Perry being booed out of the building in New Japan Pro Wrestling's Windy City Riot in Chicago. Without that, we don't get the big return at the Battle in the Valley show where he ripped up his AEW contract. Without that, Jack Perry is nothing but a good wrestler who really can't cut a promo at this point. And I think the best thing that this does for Jack Perry is it makes him relevant enough to be on TV and get experience cutting promos, which is probably the weakest part of his entire game. This is someone who, remember, back when he was doing the Jungle Boy thing with Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt, he was an overact largely because he was a beloved babyface who everyone wanted to root for, who everyone knew had the ability in the ring to have one of the best matches on the card. But at the same time, we all knew that, we haven't heard this guy speak so much. And when he was finally able to break away from the Jungle Boy character, had that feud with Christian Cage that, in my view, really brought him up to a next level as far as his character development, as far as a professional wrestler, I think that's when we all wanted to see him shine and get like that promo time and time to really understand what it means to evolve a character. While that never happened, the chances are limitless here, especially when you consider he's probably going to be surrounded by Matt Nick Jackson and Kazuchika Okada. The man is going to be surrounded by three of the best pro wrestlers in the entire world, period. The experience that these three men can have and give to Jack Perry and the wisdom that they can bestow upon him is second to almost none in the entire industry, especially when you consider everything that they have accomplished. So you bring him into the elite, you have him go out there and be around and get that rub, for lack of a better term, from those three guys. That's exactly what Jack Perry needs at this point. He needs the experience, he needs the wisdom, he needs the shine, and I think if they play their cards right, that segment where AEW played the CM Punk video and everyone was up in arms, myself included, about how it wasn't a good move and it was probably not worth the squeeze, that segment could be redeemed. But it all hinges on what they do with Jack Perry, but I guess we'll see.